There we go. All right.
Cold
Anyone
open.
who, yep. So anyone who joins in at a later date, welcome. Or if you join in the moment now, then there you go. We are live, by the way.
It's still picking up?
Yeah, Thor, you gotta.
Yeah, you got two of you on there.
Stand by. Better?
Yeah, it's
Better,
better.
better?
Yeah.
So let's see. Yeah, we're not getting any echo. All right, that's cool. Cool. Nope, it's back.
I was hoping I could do that without OBS. All right, that's a no-go.
All right, let's get some music going here.
I'll experiment with that in iRune later so I can get a close-up of the miniature.
Thor, if you have a second webcam, like that's how I'm doing. I'm running my second webcam through the same frame on OBS.
I do, but I gotta run it through iRune. I don't have it set through OBS yet.
Okay.
I was trying to run it through the actual phone, and that's no good. Even though I shut it down, it still picks up. No worries. I'll just bring it over here. I imagine, Vince there has a box like this box that's all wrapped in leather. It's got special, it's got like 3 locks on it, and on the inside he's got these variety of collars for every occasion.
There you go.
Yeah, right, with little locks on it and stuff like that.
Well, I do have some of my girls I've given what's called an eternity collar, which is a lock with it's actually a special screw that has a special screwdriver to remove the small screw in the locking mechanism. So, it's essentially a either a titanium or an aluminum circle.
Yeah, I've seen clitty rings like that.
Yeah. The thing to do with when you're buying, especially a metal collar, when you measure your girl's neck, you're going to measure at the lower end of the neck near the collarbone, and you're going to go, when you're ordering the collar, you always go an inch larger.
Yeah.
So it's not too tight. But, and then we have play collars, obviously, and then a day collar, which is a little more subtle. Usually has my name on it. It's in either gold or silver and looks like a larger necklace.
Yeah, I have a couple of nice ones that look like actual dainty.
Yeah. So
jewelry.
she can still get that feeling of ownership, but it's not. It's appropriate for a professional setting.
Well,
also known as work. She's like I said, my main girl is a commercial real estate agent. She can't wear my name around her neck.
Oh, yeah.
So it's just not happening.
Showing a house and who's Vince?
Exactly.
But she can wear the black ring and all that stuff, right?
And everything else, yeah.
I earlier this week I got to spend most of the day with our girlfriend. It was really nice.
Oh, that's cool.
She was down from Washington for the day.
Washington, but I don't know if California's an upgrade.
Oh, she's got her grandson down here. Her grandson's down here. She's my age. Yeah. Can't tell, she's Asian. She's no raisin, but I'll tell you what. How do you keep them from always wanting more? That's what they always want. They want more. Always more. I think true. She would move in a second. I mean, I started getting text after spending the day with her, Vince. And she, the first thing out of her mouth is, here's all these countries that allow multiple marriage, poly marriage. They gave me a list of 7 countries. Do you think the U.S. will ever accept this?
Probably not. I mean, not in our lifetimes.
Yeah, so she's asking me that.
That's pretty funny.
Wasn't that how half the desert and mountain states became states? Because they had to give up polygamy and break away from New Deseret?
Maybe, yeah, I think so.
Probably.
And then the last text she sent me is, hey, when it's time for you to need full-time care with Missy, be sure and think of me first. I think she'd jump at a chance to come over here. It's like, oh, well, that's nice to know. I'll think of you if that comes up. Can't blame her, though. Man, I feel like a football is going to come flying at my head right now.
Because it kind of does sound like Monday Night Football or whatever.
Right.
Or the old EA Sports.
Yeah. Yeah, EA Sports, huh? I spent the afternoon completely distracted. I started on my book, AJ. I set up the table to paint. And then I got stuck on Suno for most of the afternoon.
Oh, I'm still working through mine. It's coming. I still need to form. Like, I'm pretty much at the point where I'm gonna do it one last read through the way it is now, and then start formatting.
Well, I don't know if you know what Suno is. My son's a professional musician.
Yeah.
All of our songs for us. Well, AI is good enough now.
Oh yeah, you showed us there.
I wrote some lyrics and spent the afternoon in one hell of a corny heavy metal song. That's also rap.
So a little bit of new metal.
Uh-huh. But it was really fun and enjoyable, actually. I'm not having as much luck on the AI writer, though. It doesn't quite capture what I want.
Did you input in your own work?
Yep. What happens is there's a lot of the models do lean towards DI.
Yeah.
So I'm constantly having to bring it back. So it's almost like, I mean, I need it for certain things. I actually just need it for stories that are examples. That's kind of really all I need. I can fill in the rest. But
I told you.
My new dyslexia is killing me.
So I want to say it's chapter 4 or 5 of my book. There's some case studies or case examples comparing like your work, Donovan Sharp's work with like real life examples. Those weren't real life examples. Those are completely bullshit the AI made.
Yeah, but you can tell it, give me an example like this, and then you can look at it and then say, use real life examples over the span of time and give it a few decades. Dude, it's no joke, and it makes you look like you've done your research, and there's all the links and everything. I'm like, okay, this can be really useful, especially for a guy like me that has really bad dyslexia right now and is a sight typer.
Yeah.
But Vince, I don't know if you can see this.
Oh, cool. Is that a cutout? It is.
That's his book. That's his new book.
This is my book.
I can see. It's funny because the background of the book is being washed out.
It's washed out. Let me do this.
I can see the figure, so it looked like a cutout of Paul.
Oh, it did. Yeah, because the blacks.
Now I can. Yeah. All right, but okay. Oh, the book's good. There you go. I can see it now. Yep. There you go.
This is the very first book in the encyclopedias that we invited you to.
Cool. Yeah, I'll have something for you by the first of the year.
No worries. It's a 13-month long project, so it's not a huge deal. But, cool. And be sure and let us get you in the share so you can get the audiobook, all of the content. I have a crap load of content. I was going to write 3 more books. It's all segmented in there. It's free for every guy that gets invited, free to use. No need to credit me. Use it. Do what you want with it. I don't care.
Oh, cool. Okay.
I don't know how much time I got, so I'm planning on being here a long time. But just in case, I want to get what I had put together out, and might as well let all my friends do it and everybody in this space. Sense. Aaron's committed. I'm going to reach out to
that faggot.
Yeah. most of Rule Zero all committed, but Rollback, okay. He was in, he's out, then he's in, he's out. So that's okay. It doesn't matter.
Oh, Vince, we know that well. Don't we, Vince? Especially when it comes to a book.
We're familiar with Rollo and books. Rollo, if you're listening, we love you, but man, fuck, get your shit together.
Sterling Cooper committed.
He's gonna kill you in the next D&D game.
He won't watch this, and I have a feeling he's not showing up.
Yeah, I have a feeling once a couple guys publish, it'll be a snowball because Donovan Sharp and George Bruno really are hounding me.
Yeah, once it gets moving, once Paul's is well established in a couple weeks in, and people start seeing and they get the idea of it, they're going to want to join in. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the guys are overthinking it. Man, 100 pages is way more than enough. Heck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna mention it to Jack Donovan during our next Fortress meeting, Vince.
He'd be a great author.
Yeah, that's yeah, that'll be next Saturday. So yeah, absolutely, I'll let him know.
Jack would be
We'll
great.
talk
I've been a
about that.
fan of his for a long time.
Yep, he's going to be on the Fortress meeting next Saturday at 3.
I'm excited for Paul though. He got quite a few pre-sales actually. I think he's approaching 100.
Oh, yeah?
So yeah,
That's cool.
that's actually pretty good when you start looking at the statistics and stuff and all the analytics.
It's good numbers.
Not bad.
Pain this hamster
Oh,
on
yeah,
white
yeah.
days.
I ain't nothing like that. I think I got 2. And then it took another year, and then it took off really good.
It's gonna be interesting, to say the least. Like once we all start publishing, it's almost like I'm close, and it's freaking surreal to me that I'm almost a published author.
Let's not jinx it. Let's
It is
get that
pretty cool.
manuscript in here because there's a lot of formatting that has to take place. Believe it or not, that's kind of the hardest part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the most annoying parts of. That's what I'm going through now is getting the formatting done on the pulp anthology.
Just doing the book cover is a nightmare. The pages, making sure you're spacing. And then
Oh,
if you have
yeah,
to do point sizing for the whole thing.
Yep. Yeah,
No time.
I got
consuming.
ours locked in at an 11 point size with
That's good.
the one.
We've been using something like that.
line spacing. Yeah, the
Or just do spacing.
the Amazon guidelines. Yeah, the Amazon guidelines are pretty good.
Yeah.
But you really need in order for the book cover to come out decent in the right size, you have to make sure that you have your page count down and your font
Well,
points.
you got to use the
And everything.
template and download the PNG. If you,
Yeah,
if you
exactly. Yeah,
download the PNG and then stick it as a layer in Photoshop, you can line everything up. Otherwise, it's a stab in the dark and it's really hard.
yeah. No, I hired somebody for that. I'm not doing that shit.
Yeah, I had time, so I did it. And then
Oh no,
doing it-
if you
know-
have the time and the inclination, I'm not going to shit on it. I think it's a good idea to do yourself, but I don't care anymore.
I don't either. I'll tell you what. I did my own audio. And I had to go. I went to the school there for ACX, and
Hmm.
that's quite a big deal. That's the post production on it's really difficult. You really need
Oh,
a
yeah.
sound. The better your mic, the better it's going to be. It's just and you got to do post processing, and it's not automatic. It's manual crap.
Oh yeah, it's tedious. It's tedious.
Have you narrated any of your own?
I have not. I used to do voice work for the Lovecraft e-zine back when Mike Davis, who's the owner and operator of it, he used to put out a print copy every month of short stories that were H.P. Lovecraft cosmic horror based,
Oh,
and each issue would have anywhere between it's like 6 to 8 short stories of varying lengths. And what he would have with that print copy, he would have a free MP audio file of us reading, a bunch of us voice readers reading the stories. So I volunteered for that, and I did that for just about 2 years. So I have done voice work. I know the pain in the assery that goes into that.
sounds kind of fun though.
It was fun. Yeah, I loved it. I wish he was still offering that because I would gladly volunteer my time to do that. It's tedious, but I also find it relaxing. So sort of like what we're doing here with the painting and talking.
And if you got good mics and stuff like that, you can make it sound good on just a couple cuts, you know.
Oh yeah. And I just used Audacity.
See, I have a copy. I haven't opened it. I got all the Adobe stuff. Actually, I don't even use that. I end up using Premiere because I put my notes as video clips. So that when I'm
Okay.
running Premiere, like it's editing a movie, it's the same audio engine, but I can watch the video screen and I basically kind of teleprompter.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's a good
While
idea.
it's rolling. So I'm basically doing an over record on a different channel. And in Premiere, it's got real time processing, so that helps too. So I can
Oh,
hear
that's
what it's
nice.
actually going to sound like.
Yeah, that's really nice. That's a good feature. This fucking hamster is a hard pain in the ass to paint.
Painting a
This
hamster?
well, not a hamster by itself. So this Baldur's Gate, the video game, the D&D video game from the 90s, one of the characters, his name is Minsk. He's kind of like he's a very unintelligent fighter, but he has a little furry friend. It's a hamster, and the hamster's name is Boo. So you can't really see it here, but there's on his shoulders the hamster, and I'm just putting down a white base, and I'll throw on some brown patches, but it's hard to fucking paint and get it correctly without messing up the lines on the rest of the figure. So
Yeah.
it's quite painting this hamster is quite challenging, especially with my bad eyes. Yeah.
It can't be any worse than mine right now, brother.
That's true too. How are they doing? I know that you were having a problem with one of them.
Yeah, you know, I had a
Is it
problem.
better?
Well, we had issues when the tumor was there. The tumor's gone. But
Yeah.
we took the traumatic brain injury, so we got some prism glasses, but they're not good enough. I used the patch to prevent my muscles from overreacting
Okay.
and giving me a migraine by slowing inputs down on the left side where it's the worst. That helps, and I'm fully functional with it like that. It's just I have to spin my head a bunch, and then my stationary tube gets messed up. I get a little dizzy, I think the stationary tube gets loose or something.
Yeah.
It
That
must be
sucks.
connected to my female artery. I don't know.
Yeah, it might be.
But yeah, that's a problem. And I did find out this week, because it's not going away, that they had put me on a anti-sneeze medicine, and it's an epileptic medicine. They did that when I went in the hospital, 6 weeks ago. And I had the eye problems then, but they're not getting better, and they should be.
No?
And there's dyslexia, and I started researching the meds, because it's like, why am I taking this seize medicine? I have never seized ever in the whole time I've had this.
Yeah.
And so the doctor says we're doing it as a prophylactic, a preventative. I'm like, but that's not really, it's not efficacious for that drug, they say. So I look at the side effects, and the number one side effects is double vision and blurriness.
Oh, okay. That sucks.
And it causes a reduction in EKG stimulation between the synapses. So it slows your thinking down, literally.
Shit.
Yeah, and that's what I was complaining about when I came out of the hospital. I was like, man, I just can't think, it's too slow.
Yeah.
So that's a part of it, because if your synapses overreact, then that's when you can seize. They misfire, right? Never had it. But so I made the command decision 2 days ago. Fuck that shit. I'm stopping it. And I think I'm
I
slightly
don't
better.
blame you.
Yeah. And then one of the other side effects is you get dizzy and you're freaking uncoordinated and you drop shit. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
Oh, man.
And you get a 10% reduction in language cognition. I'm like, oh, man. That's why when everybody interrupts me, I fucking forget what I'm talking about.
Right.
So those were kind of the issues. But the eyesight thing, I magnifiers and stuff like that. I did go and got some new glasses ordered for my current, because they did change.
Okay.
They changed slightly for the better since I stopped. So we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. But yeah, I it's gonna be all right. I think it just
Good.
Yeah,
I'm
getting
very
tired
happy
and half
about that.
blind, that sucked. But this miniature painting
No,
is good
that part. Yeah, the tired, being tired and half blind is not a good thing. That's really not a good thing.
But I can see the moon real good.
Okay.
And of course, I can find it by smell too.
Well, that's good. Smell it out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's use this flesh wash and apply it to the face and arms and hands. Let's see. What brush should I use? I'll use this
Vince,
one.
do you ever do any public scenes? Well, not public, but you know what I mean, private.
With BDSM?
Yeah.
I'll do them privately, but I don't do them. And I've done nature photo shoots and ties
Okay.
and stuff outside, but for like a large audience in a
Not a
commercial
large,
setting,
like an event setting.
no.
Okay.
For the most part, I stay away from commercial BDSM because I find it to be disingenuous and not really following the law of nature.
Well, you got the experience. I haven't only done a couple, so.
No. I'm not downing. I'm not obviously downing your own experience. So I mean, in general, like I don't the whole BDSM scene as far as commercialized. I'm not into it, especially what I was when I was younger. I find it to be too cold, dispassionate. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, things have to be consensual, but it's now down to the point of absurdity, if that makes sense, and it's completely taken away the natural flow of a natural dom and a natural submissive. Especially, I get it. If you're in a public scene and you're going to scene with someone, if you're going to do a session in the moment in public, yeah, you got to negotiate and you have to do all the fun contractual public things because you don't know each other. But if you're with someone that you know and you both trust each other, I don't fool around with that shit. That completely takes.
I don't think you would.
Yeah, it takes me out of it, and I'm not doing that anymore. So, but it's been a while since I've done anything public.
Okay, just curious.
Yeah,
me too. Yeah. It's been well over 2 years.
Okay.
Since she got in the accident, yeah.
How's she doing, by the way? How's she feeling?
Well, that's a tough story.
Oh shit! All right, understood.
She has the implants let her move and all that stuff, but the problem is psychological and painful at this point. There's a lot of nerve pain, but if I exhibit any symptoms of what's happened to me, and I've had a reduction in pain threshold with the chemo.
Yeah.
She gets the same symptoms I do within 24 hours and even worse. Exactly the same symptoms and worse.
Oh,
psychological because of her fear. It's because of her fear of losing me.
Yeah. She's they're like empathy pains.
Like psychosomatic empathy.
It's tough. It's really, really tough. She tries not to, but she's so damaged.
That sucks.
So my big challenge is I have to conceal everything.
Yeah, that's stressful for you too.
Yeah,
Jesus. I mean, I know you got to do what you got to do, but it's still, bless you. That's still.
I got my guys.
I can't imagine that's an easy thing at all.
No, sometimes you'll get an adrenaline rush in the middle of the night, and that's really not comfortable.
I would imagine no.
Because it'll elicit a bunch of emotions you didn't expect.
I'm sure.
It surprises you.
Yeah.
And guys like us, we know what's going on.
Oh yeah.
We know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go down swinging.
That's right.
But it's hard to watch somebody that you love that's so panicked over it because they basically rely on you 100%. Now, I made preparations for that not to be the case.
Yeah. Still, I mean, it's not easy.
No. And ultimately, Jenny might move in here with us. It's a second. That's a possibility that we have discussed, but it's not going anywhere now.
Gotcha.
But because that's not fair to her either, bitch.
Yeah.
She didn't sign up for
makes
that.
Sense.
We had a great time. That would be terrible. That's not what she wanted to do, or that wasn't what she signed up for. You're just gonna have fun, be friends. Nothing more than that. I think if I can keep this tumor out and get a couple more good MRIs, I can stop the chemo, and that'll help the chemo brain and the eyesight return. Yeah.
Okay.
And I can stop wearing that radiation array, which definitely the radiation array slows your brain power down too. It's pretty crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was no fun.
It's like the thing that's supposed to make you better is not making you better.
Well, it slows down mitochondrial metabolism for fast-growing cells. You want to slow it down enough to starve it with the for the diet and the medicine.
Yeah.
If there's any, if there, I mean, they'll never tell you that the tumor's gone. They can see where it was, but they're always going to say that maybe 5-10%. But there's no there. I mean, it's just a hole right now, and the swelling's down, so that's good news. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That is good news.
But the TBI for the surgery, it's a funny thing. You just gotta. Who knows? There's a couple days I woke up and I went, I feel great, and about an hour later, I'm freaking exhausted.
Jesus.
Normal. So that means if I can feel that way for a few minutes, I can get it back.
Gotcha.
I miss working out real hard though. That's right.
Speaking of working out, you said you worked out recently, didn't you? Got a workout in. That's good.
Yeah. Yesterday I got one in, and they're real minor. I'm just trying to get my endurance back. I used to be 213 pounds at 10% body fat just back there. Now I'm 190. Yeah. And pretty weak. So, yeah, I mean, I'll walk for a half hour at 3.5 miles an hour, and then I'll do 100 squats freestanding. It's pretty hard. And then I'll do 25 push-ups.
Okay.
And 20 to 25 pull-ups behind the neck, wide grip.
Gotcha.
And those are real struggles for me. It should be really easy.
The wide grip ones?
The whole damn thing's hard. Yeah.
Mm.
I get a lot of trembling. Like, when you first start workout, you've never worked out before, you get a lot of muscle trembling.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
But endurance is slowly coming back.
Oh, that's good. That's very good news.
Yeah. I mean, a couple times I was able to get in the zone, get in that flow state, and that was really good. I mean, it's the first time since I had surgery. I got into flow state when I was walking. That was real good.
Okay, that's cool.
I got to work around some soft tissue injuries that I sustained when I passed out.
Gotcha.
Yeah, healing's really not a good proposition when you're on chemo. I bruise easy,
I was going to say with the chemo, it probably slows the healing process down, right?
Terribly, yeah. Terribly slow.
It's like
to be really careful, and it's got me concerned going to the CME. Donovan's asked me to speak, and it's like
the CME. What's that?
Conference of Masculine Excellence. It's where
when's that?
Donovan's little get together.
Oh, okay. When's that?
October in Tahoe.
October. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got to watch it because your white blood cells were basically nuked.
Yes, and I got back from DS and some things to be on, but my concern is if I go somewhere where there's a lot of people, just the possibility of catching a cold could be pretty devastating to me.
Oh yeah, cold flu could be fatal with your immune system's been irradiated.
Wiped out, yeah.
So I won't be fully off by then. I'll be a month out of being able to quit. So if I go, I'll probably have a driver. Might have Glenn, and we'll just have to mask up, or I'll mask up. And but everybody's
no shaking hands or anything else.
I will.
Yeah.
I just got to be prepared for it,
Hand sanitizer.
Yep.
Man, if I could hire one hell of a hot BDSM nurse to drive me, that'd be the best.
There you go. I approve.
Yeah. I'd buy her a couple nice outfits. She'd drive me out there.
There you go. I like it.
Feed me my food.
That's right.
I actually have a couple gals on mine. That's a good idea.
Do it.
So it's in Tahoe, and I am in Apple Valley, so it's about a 7-hour drive.
Oh, okay. It's not bad. That's doable. How are you with driving?
I can drive. I just wear my patch. I get tired real easy. So
I would imagine so. Yeah.
I mean, my Tesla X will drive me anywhere. I don't actually have to drive. I just have to put my hand on the wheel.
Oh, okay.
So it's a really good safety device. In fact, when people figure out what this thing can actually do, it's over. And their customer service is so good.
Yeah, you were saying.
Once they figure out how to do that and the value of it, and it's really, really safe. It's like, damn, I don't want to drive. I don't want this thing driving me.
Right.
You still got to drive. You still got to have your hands on the wheel and the pedals and all that. But once the regulators are satisfied, you won't have to.
Cool. That's
But yeah, I'd like to get out there. That's October 24th through 27th. And it won't be a lot of activity for me. There's a lot of resort activities for the guys out there. It'll be really fun.
Okay. That'll
But
be good.
I might come in a little later and rest and then do the speaking and talk to everybody. Hoping I can get a couple of the guys' books there too, like Paul's and AJ's and HUD's.
Oh, I don't know if mine will be ready by the time that is. I'm close, but I don't think it'll be ready yet that soon.
Let's do some positive affirmations there, AJ.
I will have it ready. I will be ready.
Yeah,
it's my perfectionism at this point, especially with something that I technically did not write. I manipulated a computer program to write it for me.
Wait, what? You didn't write
you
it? What
selected
the
the content,
fuck?
right?
Huh?
You selected the content.
Yeah, I selected the content. I've gone through and edited it, made it talk like me with your flair, Paul's, and Ryan Stone.
You didn't tell any of your own stories?
No, I did tell my own stories.
And it's yours.
I edited those in.
He had some
Don't
help.
worry, it's not imposter syndrome. You're doing it. You're just using the tools at hand to fix it up, like Grammarly.
Yeah.
Have you read Paul's?
I have not read Paul's yet.
That fucking thing is amazing because we uploaded his book and had it right in his writing style, and it did.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
That's what I did with ChatGPT. I said, "Hey, this is a part of your book, Thor. Hey, this is a part of Paul's book. Hey, this is a part of Frame by Ryan Stone."
Oh.
So then it took all that input in. Here's a sample of an essay I wrote. So it's got those inputs with my essays input in there, and I tell it, "Hey, write based off write this in my style, and then also in the style of Ryan Stone's Frame, because that's kind of like the style I was going for. Is the way I want my literature to come across." So it actually wrote it pretty, like the parts I've actually sat down and read and like edited out a little bit here and there. I'm like, this is actually pretty freaking good.
Yeah, don't sell yourself short, AJ. I've seen you do okay. It's gonna be just fine, and this is just a fun thing anyway. It'll be a fun thing, and the invite is gonna extend to everybody in the manosphere that's not fucking dick and having a beat. Come do it. It'll be fun.
Shit.
All right, Sigmar here.
Sigmar.
Yeah, the game was fun the other night.
It was fun. Yeah. We didn't really do any battles, but it was fun to do the searching and the detective work and the role playing.
Yeah, he did good letting us do that. I enjoy that. I think a lot.
Yeah, that stuff is fun too. It has its place.
Man, what was into Drew during that game? Holy shit!
Drew was really cantankerous, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's like the non-cleric cleric.
I'm gonna kill everybody. I'm just gonna.
It's like, yeah, bro, we all don't like slavers, but
I suspect Trembolone acetate's what I suspect.
He's a little enraged there.
Trembolone acetate or some kind of DHT derivative.
Yeah, I was kind of curious about that too. I mean, because my thought is, we don't know that. Yes, this is a slaver city, but we don't know that everyone in it is evil. It's not like we're reading their alignments, and in some cases, a lawful evil character might be more dependable than a neutral or a chaotic good character in some cases, because you can you get their word out of them. You can usually count on it within certain to a certain degree. And some people it's just where they are. They don't have any I don't think you can judge my character and personality by the fact that Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are in charge of aspects of my government. They're not my fault. I've done everything I can to replace them short of violence. So, you can't judge my alignment by theirs.
Sure.
And Drew's like wanting to nuke the city and stuff like that, and it's like,
Well, he's probably low on calories. I understand. I used to prep NPC killers. You know, I was big enough to do it myself and did it for a while with the girls mostly. But yeah, I mean,
Or
some of those cutting drugs, they work really well, man. The PEDs are fantastic, but they do kind of put you on edge a little bit. Yeah.
Or we could be overthinking this all, and it could be Drew and Rolo had a little bit outside of us metagame from when he got feared in the dungeon, and now he's like cursed.
Oh, we could be overthinking it. Yeah.
That's
I can see Rolo pulling a stunt like
The
that.
evil cursing that he took. Yeah, that's not bad, man. Maybe. So can you cast a remove curse spell to find out next time?
I could respec to detect. I think I have detect magic and detect curse as a druid or something like that.
Okay, interesting.
I have all the I have very similar spells to clerics, but more foresty based.
Yeah. More ayahuasca based, right?
Yeah, more hippie. I need to work on my Scottish accent more for that role.
well, some of that Celtic stuff with the Druids, they were, if any of what we know historically has any accuracy to it, they were a pretty nasty group of people.
They certainly could
deal
have been.
with,
Absolutely.
you know. Yeah.
Them and the Celts. Ooh.
They kept the Romans out. Well, the Picts kept the Romans out forever.
Yeah, those Picts were hard. Hard people.
This vampire red might work well. Let's see. Yeah, I think it will. Time for some highlights. Some dry brushing, see? Yeah.
You do like for your highlights and shadows, Vince, do you do like a wash for the shadow and then a dry brush for the highlights?
Yeah, I just put on a flesh wash on his skin. And then I used a dark wash for the rest of his armor and cloak and whatnot. It's hard to see here. But... and now I'm going to use a lighter color for the red cloak, a lighter red for the dry brushing of the to pull out the highlights and the top portions of the cloak where the light hits. So
I got 6 members that joined the Dragons yesterday, and I just got 2 more right now.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, that's cool.
2 from affiliates. Did you sell them?
I don't know. I got a
PayPal notice.
I know I got a notification that I have money waiting for me on Gumroad, but I have never accepted $1 back from my affiliate.
Dude, you're making money. What are you doing?
This is all dusty. What the F?
That's the whole point, is to grow the franchise so that you have a little benefit.
I understand that. At the same time, it's like one of those things I'm like paying it forward, I feel.
All right, well, just take it and buy some Bitcoin and chat with the guy. That's all good.
This is not light enough.
What is that color that comes? Well, there's one that's really light, but it builds in the cracks real nicely, like shadow. I forgot the name of it.
Oh, talking about like this one right here that I have, this shade. It's Seprum Sepia or Sepia.
CP tone.
I got one from
this
Workshop that's called Earth Shade.
Yeah, Agrax Earth Shade's good. That's a good one. That's a nice dark one. Warm dark.
Wash over it.
Yeah, it's make sure like washes are weird. Like try not to make them pool, but you do want them to pool in certain areas.
Yeah.
Like you kind of want a light pool in the corners, and then you want to make sure it doesn't pool on the flat.
Yeah, you want it to flow into the corners and not be on the.
And then what do you use on your highlights?
Oh, this brush is
either a layer paint or
silver,
like a layer paint that's very, very it's not necessarily super wet, but it's thinned down a little bit, probably a 1-to-1 ratio.
Mm.
And then with a very fine point brush, or as Vince does, depending on the size of it, the dry brush works too.
Dragonfire. Let's try the Dragonfire red. Let's see how this works.
I'm excited to try to get some resin glue and restart on the light thing.
Yeah,
Man, I
that's
can't.
fun.
I think the next parts I burnt, I'm not going to expose them as long in the cure.
I think I'm going to try to find some of that UV glue, man, if it's strong enough.
Well, yeah, you're effectively welding it at that point.
It's dense.
Yeah, because the resin's going to cure to itself with the UV light
Yeah.
and effectively become one piece.
I think it needs it as heavy as that thing is.
Oh yeah,
It's wonderful. It really is, dude.
There we go.
thing's huge too.
It's over 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, that's much better. There we go.
And if you really want to make sure it cures all the way after you hit it with the glue and the UV light, or the resin and the UV light, bring it out, set it outside, and the sun will finish curing it.
Oh. Okay. That sounds pretty good.
Oh, this looks really good.
I got my Marines here. I like the idea of printing stuff. That's really cool. If I could print axes and knives, that'd even be better.
You can.
All right.
Get some metal. If I had the energy and start making those throwing knives out of the springs, like the one you threw,
Yeah.
everybody that's thrown those are like, "This is incredible." It was. That was given to me. That's actually an old Norse design for a throwing knife. It's called. But
It was well balanced too.
oh, and it's always just a leather handle. It always works. It's like, okay, you hit somebody with this 2-pound piece of metal, and it's gonna really cause damage.
That's gonna ruin their night.
It's pretty amazing. If you haven't seen AJ's first time good student, man. He's really good.
That's cool.
He was really good at throwing. I'll tell you who stunned us. Pearl. Fuck, Pearl stunned everybody. But she's an athlete. She knows how to throw.
She's an athlete, and she's got definitely some Anglo-Saxon blood in her.
Yeah, she knows how to throw. She's able to hold her hips and her shoulder just right to show her.
Yeah.
And she freaking hit them both on the very first shot.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's freaking. It was funny. I teased Nuke like crazy on that. Nuke was here and he was doing good
Oh yeah. When was he out there?
last weekend.
Oh,
A
okay.
couple days. Yeah, we taught him how to throw the axe and the knife. He did a really good job, man. He's a really good.
And that son of a bitch.
Vince, you had the picture of Nuke and at Thor's in your Dork Con.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah. He's a good dude, man. I like him.
MomoCon 2024.
Can't help. I mean, it's a funny thing, man. Being in this space, I knew everybody before they started doing their YouTube. Just from the
Right.
conventions and stuff. Well, everybody would go to these conventions and stuff, right? And I got invited to speak, and I met a few people, and then everybody's kind of stayed in contact on Facebook. And then when Jonathan and Myron reached out to me, I said, "Yeah, I'll go do that." And then it kind of just took off, and everybody kind of blew up.
That's cool.
It was kind of interesting. Just kind of haphazard, serendipitous stuff, you know. But it was really fun because I met a lot of really good people.
That's cool. That's what it's all about, really.
I mean, you'd be surprised. Like the Tates take a ton of shit. As soon as I got hurt, Tristan sent a fuckload of money in Bitcoin. It's like, what the fuck, dude? He goes, "Oh no, just make sure you have nurses." I'm like, "All right."
That's cool.
It
was,
asking nothing in return. I mean,
Incredibly honorable of him.
Well, they're good. Him and Jay, I was with them in Miami.
I guess
And,
I get the sense that they're getting the shaft.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're not what you think. And
didn't like the court case just get dismissed again?
yeah,
It's all bullshit.
it is. And
I
some of it's
know everyone's
contrived
waiting
on their part.
with bated breath to see what happens.
Some of it's contrived on their part on purpose.
Oh yeah,
Incognito,
it's
yeah.
marketing and whatnot. I'm sure.
Like was once with Sterling and Waller, they're there, and Tristan's like, we were having such a good time, and I mean, I'm the oldest dude there, but these guys are young dudes, but they have a lot of wisdom, and they really do. And they're, we're going to Colombia for the next week, Thor. You're coming with us. I'm like, yeah. He says, no, we're paying for it. You're just coming. They hounded me. I couldn't go. I couldn't get nursing for Missy, but they wanted me to go for a week with them to Colombia just to have fun. It was really nice. Good offer.
That is cool.
It was just, we're just gonna have fun. We'll just pay for it. Come on, you're going. I wish I could do that, but I have obligations. So
Yeah.
you know, I think if she would have had the implant, I could have done it. But yeah. But in person, they're very different, and that's why when somebody comes and visits me, I don't really care to do content with them. I like the friendship better first, you know.
Mhm.
It's kind of more about that for me at this point than let's do content and be famous. I could give a fuck.
Oh yeah, that's we've had some of our meetups, and I don't broadcast them. I'll throw up some pictures later on social media, but like this Battlefield gathering in November, I'm not doing a broadcast that Wednesday, and we're not doing anything live. It's just to hang out with everybody. Yeah.
I mean, I would do it like the CME and things like that, but
Oh, that's different. That's an official.
yeah, just to go do it, you know. I mean, I like just being friends, man. And they end up getting along with it better than when everybody's trying to position themselves as some sort of competitor in this weird space.
It is a very strange space, to be sure.
It is, isn't it? I think, yeah, there's a lot of gossipiness about it, and I think the algorithm drives it. And
it definitely does. It definitely does. I mean, Robert and I were just talking about that in text.
Well, it's like if it didn't drive it, you wouldn't have Myron putting people like Destiny, giving them a platform.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know Myron. Myron's a smart dude too, man. I get along well with him. We did some good work together with the courses. I mean,
what the?
But he's smart too. He's saving his money because he knows this isn't a gravy train forever.
Yeah, right.
No.
This dry brush is a piece of shit. Fuck. Let that soak for a little bit.
No, you know, it's not a paint session. Les Vince is swearing fucking shit under his breath the whole entire night.
It's like I don't even realize you're there. That's the best time, is to kind of lose yourself in what you're doing.
Yeah, if you're ever out in California, or if I'm out there, I'm sure that I wouldn't mind teaching you how to throw the axes and knives too. Once you know the principles, it's actually kind of simple.
Axes I can throw. I do axe throwing out here. I go to the
okay, great.
There's that commercialized axe throwing place that I've been there. Anytime you can mix some light alcohol with axe throwing is where I want to be. So I do that. Knife throwing, I can say I've never done knife throwing. So you could teach me that.
Absolutely. I mean, AJ can teach you that. There's actually kind of there's physics to it. That once you understand it, it makes so much sense. It's based on the length of your leg bones and your forearms.
Really?
Seriously. Yes. Huh. And the handles you choose for your axe and for your knife.
Okay.
You want the best throwing knife possible? It should be as long from your elbow to your wrist at minimum.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And basically, you learn to gauge how many paces you are away. And then you always throw in the same way and release in the same way, and it always makes the same rotation.
In one smooth motion, yeah. Okay.
And then from there, you just do multiples of 2 or 1.5 and change your grip. And then you'll always hit no matter what.
Oh, okay. That makes sense too. I'll have to get myself a good throwing knife.
The heavier, the longer, the better.
Heavier and longer the better. Okay. Like a
Yeah,
dagger,
like-
really, not a knife.
The dagger, but the thicker the blade, the better, the wider. All that stuff
Okay.
really makes a difference.
Okay. Are there any good knife sites that you guys recommend?
I would have to look because I make my own out of spring steel from a car.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And if you look at the video, you can kind of tell. I use magnetic holsters. That's always fun. But yeah,
I had no idea. That's cool.
yeah. And the nice thing about something of that size, most people are very similar in my height at 5'10", or 5'8" to 5'6", so they're going to be real similar. And what I can do with them is I teach them to throw at 6 paces for the tomahawk, and they'll nail it every time. And then I make them take one large step to 5 paces, draw, and throw the knife in the same manner, and it will land point first and bury itself 4 inches in every single time, and it makes them feel really good.
That's
You
cool.
know, but it's really a trick of physics.
Gotcha. That makes sense, really.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Actually, I have a video on my YouTube that instructs the whole thing. Way in the
Really?
back. Yeah,
I'll have to check that out.
it's called Viking Knife. Yeah.
I will do a search for that.
To become durable, I have an instructional on weapon safety and selection. That's a 2-hour webinar, actually.
Oh, holy shit.
I have everything set up in front of my fireplace from heavy
Okay.
machine gun down to body armor.
Damn.
And range safety.
Nice. You're all set. There you go.
It was something I did for
like
one of the courses because everybody was interested in firearms.
Okay.
And I thought I'd throw in some backpack level 3A armor for the travelers of the group. They like that.
Gotcha.
I showed the leatherbacks.
Yeah. That sounds like fun.
I think a couple of our buddies at Traveler International, they bought some of those.
Cool.
You can carry them on and everything. Yeah, they're backpacks that turn into 3A vests.
Really?
Oh, absolutely, man. If you don't know anything about it, I'm happy to share it with you. Leatherback makes one. It's really good, a 3A. It's a little bit heavy for a backpack, but boy, you could pull the red cord and slide it over your top, strap it down. Now you've got a 3A bulletproof, knife-proof vest.
I had no idea that stuff existed. That's pretty badass.
It is really badass.
That's badass.
Really.
And you're saying you can take it on a plane?
You can, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yep, I had it all in Miami too. No problem.
Nice.
And they saw it. They didn't have any problem with it.
That's good. You
I
never
think
know.
maybe if you had local government, maybe. But not if you're-
Those highlights came out pretty good.
But I need to look for some good throwing knives because really the stuff they sell like on Amazon is very light. That's
I probably wouldn't
you
buy
know,
anything off of that. I probably wouldn't buy anything off of Amazon.
You know, a lot of beginners like to do that underhanded throw because it is kind of easy. You're just kind of flinging it.
Yeah,
And against a
yeah,
soft
I've seen
target.
that. Yeah.
Like a foam target, it's actually pretty easy.
Okay.
But AJ could attest, if you had a guy in full scale armor, you might want that 1.5 foot long knife I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, you need
There's
to
that.
Penetrate.
There's those guys that were on History Channel for a bit. They're right in your neck of the woods. They're like in Pennsylvania, right outside Pittsburgh.
Really?
Yeah, they
Oh,
make
okay.
all the they recreate like all the game weapons, and they're like forging them.
Really?
They actually made a chainsaw
I
or
would
not a chainsaw, a chain sword from Warhammer.
That's
Oh, that's
cool.
really cool. I would love to have a reproduction Uthbert. I have one, but it's not to my liking. I would like it to be a little more of the Damascus steel. And I'd like to have a throwing axe like you used, AJ, that's actually Damascus, but have the Uthbert imprinting in it just to make it really cool. That'd be really cool. I might do that as a treat for myself one of these days. Hire somebody to do that. I know a couple of forgers. That knife making looks really addictive. I've made a few knives. Damn, I don't want to get into that.
Oh, that's like my retirement right there, man. Just retire to somewhere like out in Tennessee, have a forge in my backyard, and just sit there and make shit all day.
One of my coworkers has an entire shop, and his name is called Tony Bravo Knives. He's getting kind of famous. The dude can make some patterns, man. He's got all the hammers, all the auto hammers, all of that stuff, and it's really cool. In fact, I owe him a visit. He's a lineman like me, but that's his big deal. When he retires, that's what he wants to do too. Make knives. There's a real Zen thing about it, you know.
Yeah, it's
I
like,
don't like painting the miniatures, but in a different.
It's cathartic in its own right.
Yeah. I sure miss riding the bike, though.
I miss riding mine. I can't right now.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. We'll see. When I stop the chemo, I might be able to do it. That'd be really great. I think I could. The other day, I thought I could ride.
I'd be careful, man.
I can't do it. It's the tired. I don't know when the migraine's coming, and that messes with my stationary tube, which can affect balance. Are you working days right now, AJ?
No, I'm nights still. I'm probably gonna. They're talking about. My manager keeps on thinking about it and not thinking about it, and then thinking about it, going having permanent shifts, especially to keep the two leads on nights. That way, everybody goes to nights after they start.
Yeah,
they'll do 2 months on days, and then they'll come to nights to be trained under the two leads.
I think Nuke's gonna talk to you.
Oh yeah,
he's interested in maybe working for a similar company or doing something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Especially if he's got UPS knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He'd be wanted.
Tell you what, when I quit chemo, though, I'm gonna grow my hair back. That's for sure.
And grow it out.
Plus, like, if we have openings on my campus, and he knows 3 people that work there.
Oh, he made a couple comments in a couple different conversations about coming over there.
Yeah, to my supervisor and one of the leads over on one of the other buildings, they both served with him on the same ship.
Yeah, I mean, I only know him from here, but the reason I invited him on is because of his he's trustworthy.
Yes.
He's reliable. It's like shit. You run into a guy like that wants to talk. And I was really excited to recruit him on the Dragon ship.
And he brings in the views.
Well, yeah. And when you just talk to him, fun. He's bullshit with him. Like normal. We've had some guys in that want to come on the Dragon ship that aren't normal. And, you know.
You got me. What the fuck, man? You let me on.
No, you know what I'm talking about. That guy, Base Oracle, was really
fuck, yeah.
On.
And, that guy.
And he had convinced Glenn, and I'm like, no, Glenn. No. And we had some other guys too. We had this guy, Andrew, that was like supposed to be this super NLP guy, but man, he was obnoxious. And we did some research on him because he was selling a course. The guy had no credentials, man. He was lying. It's like we confronted him about it, and he denied it. It's like, we'll invite you to guest occasionally. You know.
Yeah. Vince is always busy riding his bike around whenever I try to invite him on.
Yeah.
What was that? I heard my name.
I said you're always seems to be riding your bike when I invite you on the Dragon ship.
Yeah,
I am on my bike. I am on my bike as much as possible.
I know I want to be, but
yeah. One of these days I will hop in the Dragon ship. I just
no worries.
there's just some times I talking is just like I don't. I just
I'm,
don't feel
I'm
like
actually with you. Yeah.
like I don't. It's sometimes and Robert and I have talked about this. It's sometimes an effort to do Masculine Geek. Not that I don't love doing it.
It needs to be fun.
Exactly, and there's times when I'm like, oh, you know what, this is just not fun tonight. So, but I'm here, and these playing D&D in the live streams with you guys and doing this. This is fun for me. This stuff
It is for me too. Yeah.
Yeah, this stuff I like. The interviews, I love doing the Masculine Geek Fortress meetings. I love those. Like I said, they're uncensored. They're private.
Oh,
they're not
the paywall.
recorded. Yeah, and it's members only. So these are the people that are there and have been in the Masculine Geek life in the past are solid dudes. For the most part, retards are not going to pay. And that was the idea behind the paywall part of it, is having a men's club, a gentleman's club, where you put your money where your mouth is, you pay dues, and you hang out, and it's a good brotherhood. I by no means make money off of Masculine Geek Life. I mean, at the end of the day, between paying for Zoom, paying for the website, paying for the domain name, paying for all the extra stuff, it's like it's negligible as far as like the extra money that I make. And it winds up going back into the business anyway, so it's like whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, the same happened for me. The only time I made a real killing was when we did Game 9000 to raise the money to go to Miami. That was overwhelming. And I actually sold 2 Game 9000s yesterday, AJ.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
They're handing up the big money.
Dude, that was the craziest webinar I've ever been in.
Dude, wow, we charged $3.99 a piece, and we made a killing, and everybody loved it.
$3,000?
No,
$300 each, and I think I pulled.
Oh, $300 each. Okay.
I think I pulled in $7,900. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
It was only up for 4 days.
Oh my God, that's good numbers. That's good. That's very cool.
like I was in there live.
It was
Really?
live.
Oh, cool. All right.
What did we do? We did like 4 or 5 hours with Sterling,
Off you, HUDs,
Get this to dry.
and the funniest thing in there
Yeah.
was fucking HUD's describing something. Offie friggin' sitting there looking at him. Obviously, just like, hold up. That's the most white boy shit I've ever heard. I am both disgusted and intrigued. Tell me more.
That was really good. It was like it couldn't have been timed better.
Oh,
That's funny.
Yep. And then of course Sterling with his method for being in Sterling and I met in the lifestyle and way before the Red Pill, and then he kind of explained his method and how he does things, and then I talked about mines and some of the events and what NDAs. It was just a bunch of bullshit, but it was nasty shit, with evidence and event footage. And so everybody just loved it,
Yeah.
And it did really well. Yeah, really well. But that has to be paywall stuff.
Oh yeah.
You got to be discreet. Yeah, I mean that's the number one.
You have to be discreet, and those kind of things are skills, and those skills were based upon experience and time.
Yeah.
And you're providing value, but you should also have value for yourself as well. So I'm all for, especially those things, charging for those things.
And nobody ever complained or wanted anything back. In fact, I think our reviews were all 5-star. And like I said, just sold 2 the other day, which they rarely come in, but somebody finds it and reads it and goes, "Oh, I'm gonna listen to this."
Yeah, right.
And then I get a comment that says, "Man, I can't believe that."
Nice. That's awesome.
It's especially when we get into the threesome game, it's different than most people think because of what YouTube's done to it. It's very different.
Oh, I believe it.
I
believe it.
Unfortunately, you got some guys out there that really broadcast how to do it that really don't have any experience, and it's obviously they've never done it.
Yes, yeah. The proof is in the pudding. It's like a priest giving a sex talk.
Yeah, like a very famous guy that says, "Get a bisexual girlfriend and then just have her pick up girls." That is absolutely not how you do it.
No. I mean, she can, but that's not the primary way to do it.
That'd be like 1%.
Yeah.
If she's a bisexual and she's picking up girls, she's doing the male part. Where do you think her attractiveness and arousal goes?
Yeah, my main is bisexual. Like really bisexual.
What turns her on the most?
Do what?
You. What turns her on the most?
Yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is I'm agreeing with you is I don't have her finding other women for me.
No, in fact, she probably gets highly aroused like Missy when I throw game at other women.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the thing a lot of guys don't want to do is throw game out there at other women. They're scared.
Oh, guys are horribly afraid these days. Even with all the information out there.
Yeah. And it's funny because when you're in your man element and you're being the player and the girls are paying attention to you, your main is going to go crazy with desire and attraction and arousal.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if she has an ounce of compersion. And here's the thing. Sure, she approves of the girl, but she's not out there having to be the guy. It's her guy conquering these concubines, and that goes on incredibly.
Exactly.
So yeah, we have some examples of that. Guys don't understand that, and they fantasize in a certain way. So and then Sterling's really good. Sterling's a stud,
he's
man.
Cool.
And I've seen
we've
him
had
in
him
real
on the
life.
show. We've had him on
He's
the show.
got a lot of charm. He's got a lot of charm.
He does. He's a huge nerd too. We were talking about board games and whatnot on the show.
Shit, bring him on, man.
We should bring him on again.
You know he's a chemical engineer, so he is a nerd.
He did say that, yeah. He was talking about this one political board game that during the show we were trying to figure out the name of it. We finally did, and now of course I've forgotten it again, but it was kind of cool. Though, just trying to go down that rabbit hole of finding this old board game from the 70s or 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. That was live. That was one of our. That was about 2 or 3 years ago, actually.
Yeah, I got nothing but good to say for that guy. That guy came out here twice, helped me and Missy when I got the brain cancer, and he was always so good with Missy. And she got hurt. That dude.
He seems pretty solid. Yep.
As solid as it ever comes, and if he says that the tape it, I'm not even going to look any further.
Mm-hmm.
Never led me astray. Him and Jay got one of the coolest places in Miami. I could stay there as long as I want.
No, he was. I think he's one of his places. He was showing us pictures. Yep.
He has Vince. He has this wall table that's about 4 feet long. It only sticks out about 8 inches, but it's actually a beautiful wall table, but made out of wood. But it's actually folds out into a St. Andrew's cross.
That's awesome. Yeah,
it is really awesome. Yeah, and then he's got one that folds into a horse.
Okay, yeah, I have a I'm looking at it right now. It's in my living room. I have a discipline table. I have a discipline bench.
Yep,
and I have a metal forced orgasm tower.
Oh, you do? Okay, I don't have that.
They are, yeah. That's yep.
Listen to this avenue go.
Where's
the avenue, right?
One of these days, I'll do a live demonstration with that.
Mommy, you're in there.
Right. I'll let you know. I'll have you join.
Yeah.
The Masculine Geek live Fortress meeting for that one.
Man, I'm thinking when I'm done with this array and with the chemo, I might do some Norse head tattoos.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the full cap.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I'm an old guy. Why not? I might just do the whole freaking thing.
There you go.
As an affirmation ritual. Yeah.
Right. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I was thinking about maybe wrapping my skull with Gormungandr, the world snake, and grabbing it by the tail,
okay, yeah.
Sending it back into the sea,
Yeah.
Or do it all with runes, I don't know.
Either way, that'd still be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not. There's some good stuff online that's like, oh boy, some of these look really nice. You do it just right.
Mm-hmm.
You can scare the fuck out of everybody. I like that.
Instill fear.
Hey.
I like it. Keep people on their fucking toes.
I was working on a new course. It has a lot to do with some female nature stuff I was putting together for a book I probably won't write in this series, but one of the acronyms we're using is FEAR for a woman, and it's part of that courtship and sexuality, and it stands for female. I found it. It stands for, I think I found it on a BDSM site. It stands for female escalation arousal response threshold. So it's fear with a dash T. Yeah.
Yeah.
And cool. If you could find that place where that response is crossed, it's game on for anything. I go, no shit, it is game on.
Yeah, pretty much.
They'll change religions. They'll help you hide the bodies.
Yeah, they will.
Hey, buddy.
I got the little brown patches on this minuscule hamster here. I'll try to take some photos and show you guys because I can't. The webcam is not good.
Yeah.
There we go.
I don't think my.
Let's get off.
I don't know if this is going to work. It's my Sigmar. Age of Sigmar guy.
Oh. I can see him. That's cool.
Okay, I'm messing up. That's my setting. That's right. Yeah, I made one of those little braces because I shake a little bit.
That makes sense. Gonna brace it up.
Where are all the naked women miniatures at?
They do sell them.
Those, remember the
Ralph? Yeah, well, Ralph Partha made quite a few, especially the vampire ones.
Yes.
And the slave ladies and yeah, they do. They do have several sets still out floating around out there. And obviously, you can make your own 3D miniature.
Yeah.
But Ralph Partha did pretty good with those. There was a sort of a ladies of pinup and fantasy. A few sets that Ralph Partha made, and I had one of them, and I forget what happened to it.
I had a few of those to paint, and you paint the shadows, and there's pretty amazing. To do flesh shadows and stuff like that.
Right in the crevices.
You could make it work, and actually be interesting.
Oh yeah.
What's funny is some of those were sculpted by or designed by like Sandra Garrity or trying to blank on the other lady's name, but there are a couple of women who did a lot of really nice female sculpts.
That's cool.
Well, some back then certain women knew what a female body was supposed to look like.
Yeah.
As opposed to now where you have certain women that think a female body should look like a apple.
Milk jug is not a shape.
Yes.
That men like.
Hey, milk taco donut.
The who?
Milk taco donut. Winner.
I don't know about the milk part.
Well, it's the way to put my emojis out now. You put 2 milk bottles and then the taco, then the donut.
Oh, okay.
now you understand.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, it's actually a really good. Women pick up on it instantly. I mean, it's they know exactly what it means, buddy. It's a good way to throw a little bit of game out there and have plausible deniability.
Okay.
Just like milk and tacos and donuts.
Right.
Right.
I get it now. All the holes are taken care of, and then the mammary glands are accounted for.
Right. And if you're really good, you can find the open lip to start it off with. Open lips, milk, taco donut.
Okay. There you go.
Try it on your phone. You'll see.
I know. I think I've seen you send that out on one of the.
I'll use that in private DMs, and it is a hell of a response, man. I'll tell you
Yeah,
what.
I think I've seen you use it on the Telegram.
On X.
Or on maybe you use it on X. Yeah.
The DMs where you use it good. I've gotten DMs on those in a good way.
What the hell?
And did I tell you guys I got recognized in 2 freaking cities for my book now in the last
Really?
6 months? Yes.
That's cool.
I got stopped at freaking outlets. That guy.
Okay.
I hear somebody going, Thor, and I'm like, yeah,
That's cool. That had to be a nice feeling.
it is, but it kind of bothered me a little bit because you just don't have somebody yelling your name. He was cool. Just kind of, it's not something I was used to because I'm pretty much. I just do my own thing, and I like interacting with people, not them coming up to me interacting. I usually interact.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just different.
I would imagine so. Yeah. All right, maybe a little bit of white dry brush on that will work. Let's see. Just real lightly on that.
Well, you know what? I did have a miniature back in the day of the Death Dealer.
Oh, Frank Frazetta's Death Dealer, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they were pretty cool too. I'm surprised somebody hasn't licensed it and started printing these things.
Or there's still the Frank Frazetta Museum does some of the sculptures.
Oh.
Shit.
Yeah, and he's got his daughters too, right? They're the handle.
Well, his daughters are the ones that are out in Florida, and
Okay.
there's a bit of a schism in the family as far as
I heard that.
yeah. So they don't really talk about it too much.
The man was pretty amazing, man.
Yeah, he was.
As an artist, yeah.
You know, we had his grandson on the show last year.
Oh.
Yeah, I my main girl and I, we were out in the Poconos. I had rented a cabin in Stroudsburg, PA, which is where his house and museum is. And I met his grandson at the museum, and we talked to him for 2 or 3 hours. And then when I got back to the cabin, I'm like, you know what? That was really cool. He'd be good on Masculine Geek. So I called the museum up, and I think I talked with his aunt. I said, yeah, we were just out there. Oh, yeah, because we bought a lot of stuff. So they remembered us. And I said, yeah, I'd like to get Frankie on this YouTube show that I do. I was like, oh, let me give you his phone number. So I have his phone. I've got his phone number. And I texted him. I said, I told him the same story I told his aunt. He's like, oh, yeah. Just let me know when. And when we did the interview, he broadcasted from the actual museum. He set up his laptop in the museum, so all the artwork in one corner was behind him. So it was kind of cool.
It was very cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, but he's... we had talked about getting him on a one-shot D&D game. Because he's like, oh, yeah, it's been a while since I played D&D. So that was a tentative plan, which hasn't come to fruition yet. Maybe I'll give him a buzz soon. Say, hey, Frankie.
When's the next Drew game gonna be?
When Drew's done competing.
Okay, so I was figuring.
Yeah, because he's obviously just that from Wednesday night alone. His mindset's probably not good for DMing. And also, what happens is he winds up getting sick, or something else comes up, and he cancels the last minute. And rather than do, and that whatever, it's neither
cutting
here nor
does
there.
that. Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But I mean, well, it's not fine, but whatever. So rather than go through that and schedule a game,
Yeah,
we're not going to do any games with Drew until he's done doing his competition stuff. So
that's good.
yeah,
There's a bunch of
and
miniatures.
then there's no pressure on him either. So
I might search through this website I just sent you guys. My Brothers Grimm Gaming. Looks like they're printing everything.
okay, cool.
That's pretty good. Here's the classic RPG game set. Looks like they're reproducing the ones we were used to from the 70s or 80s.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I see that. That's there's
Pretty reasonable.
a company in Britain that does the same thing. So let's see, we got the classic RPG game set with 32 STL high quality files. That's wow, that's really cool.
You're buying the files, and then
Yeah.
person like me,
Yeah.
I can do the printing.
Yeah, that'd be really
Yeah,
cool.
alright.
They have one if you dig in called the Demon Empress. That's what
Oh,
we're
I see
talking
the
That's
White
good.
Maiden. She looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, actually that
yeah.
does.
Right?
Yeah, as you
Oh,
scroll
that's-
down,
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That'd be
makes
interesting.
me want to get a
paint.
printer.
Right? Shit. I like it. That'd be
Thanks.
interesting to print, especially with the sheer outfit she's wearing over her naked body.
Yeah, the giant
Interesting.
spider's really good too. Holy shit.
Yeah, they are cool.
Well, they do make transparent resins.
They do?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That'd still be interesting to paint.
I think it
There's
would
a
be
big,
too.
big fat rat. Ah, Beholder's really cool. Oh shit. That's a badass Beholder.
Oh, you see the one behind there with the
You
eyeball?
see, yeah,
hanging
see
out?
that with the
I like that.
treasure on the bottom, and he's got
Yep.
this really wide maw with the big eye and the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
That's really badass. I like that. Thanks for sending this.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I think that'd be a freaking blast to print some of those. Really,
Right, and really cool to paint. Shit.
Yeah, of
Happy
course.
D&D Dungeons and Dragons figurines.
That's Galad Miniatures. Galad. Okay. Well, now we got a sword.
Yeah. I'll have to save that store. Cool.
Man, I thought Rollo was leading us all around, telling us the Ivory Paladin and code name for White Knight. I thought that was pretty cool.
I still think that's like a shop or a tavern or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's a statue.
Or a statue, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be. I mean, we haven't found it yet, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, that Drew seemed to be completely convinced it was a person
Right here. Yeah.
and stuff. Drew was just, his head was somewhere else. That's
Yeah, he
all I
was-
can figure.
Yeah, he was a little loopy.
I certainly was. I kind of am normally these days, so.
That's all right. All right, let's go over and get some wash on this son of a bitch. I'm gonna wash this hamster. Let's see. Yeah, let's use that. A little bit of that there. Let's do this lightly, very lightly.
What are you washing it with?
Just a black wash.
Okay.
Pull out the shadows on it. Make it pop a little bit because I did add some brown bands or spots to them. There we go. That brings them out a little bit and mutes the stark contrast of the white and the brown spot, so it kind of blends it together just a little bit, and then the heaviness of the wash goes down into the cracks and crevices of the hamster, which winds up being perfect. There we go. There we go. All right, I'm a little happier now with this hamster fucker here. Do a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, that's right. Okay. A little bit on the nose. All right, that works. Yeah, it's better. That makes them pop. I gotta do his boots and make the tips of his boots a little.
Make them shiny.
Yeah, I'm thinking, thinking like a. I don't know. Not sure if I should use gray or white or silver. What do you think?
I got the Age of Sigmar guy. I'm gonna go with some red for his boot because I always wear red tennis shoes.
Oh, okay.
I have red before, so.
Gotcha.
You gotta have shoe game, man.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I found that a long time ago, especially with women.
It's so funny. When I'm around
one of the
around
first
black
things,
ladies. No,
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to say one of the first things women look at is your shoes.
They do.
Yeah, and they look at women's shoes and they look at men's shoes.
I know they do. I'll
Right?
be around some of the black ladies and I'll tease them about shoe game, and they all know. And then I can't shut them up.
Oh yeah, they'll run off.
I have
the
such a
mouth.
blast with
Yeah.
them. I have a good time with them. They know what's up with shoe game, man.
Yeah, they do. Silver? Or not sure how I should do these boots because they're black.
Well, I used to actually paint and do charcoal and pencil when I was recovering from my burns and the skin grafting. That's where that was a real love-hate relationship, but I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Every one of my paintings and drawings made me money. They made me money.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I did it almost all of linemen, and they wanted to buy that shit. You know?
Oh, yeah.
But I loved it, but I hated it. I don't know how to describe it. It was fun, but it wasn't. Because I wasn't good. I felt like I wasn't good enough. Self-taught.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I did do a lot of Frazetta stuff just because I liked the work. So I would set it up as a visual and then emulate it. In fact, my gym started with that stuff for inspirational. My daughter kind of does some of that too. I kind of gave her all of my artwork stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just traveling lighter. I think if I was to do it again, I'd use the Photoshop and my touch screen. Just cleaner, you know?
Okay, that makes
Not
sense.
to say funner, but you got a lot of versatility. Yeah, you're using the computer, but there's an artistic element to it that's pretty important.
Yeah, the silver makes sense actually.
Are you giving him some taps?
Just some highlights along the side and the front of the boot where the light would fall.
Maybe give him a couple little rivets in there, huh?
That's possible. I could see where I could put in a rivet or two, especially at the heel.
That'd be impressive.
Yeah, right. I wanted to make the tip of the boot pop on the sides a little bit, just the toe, the toe cap area.
Yeah.
This seems to be working okay. And I can see it in the... Yeah, there we go. Let's go over here and do this again. On this side. Just a touch. Just a touch. It's like Bob Ross for mini painting.
Little happy accidents. That damn Aaron Claren called me the Bob Ross of the Red Pill.
He did?
Yes, publicly. Says, Thor, you're just the Bob Ross of the Red Pill.
Oh, he got his voice down too.
I know.
That's pretty close.
It was actually really funny, but at the time I'm like, how the hell did you come up with that, you bastard?
No, I can see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
everybody can see it but me, huh?
Now, well, I think I'd only met, I've never met you in person, but I think I'd only engaged you in conversation briefly once.
Yeah.
And that was before your diagnosis on one of
Yeah.
on some Saturday's Rule Zero thing. Rollo had invited a bunch of different ones of us on, so I was there representing the geek/nerd faction of
Perfect.
his acquaintances and friends and such. But anyway, super nice guy. Fine. But I've only gotten to really spend time with you since you were diagnosed. So I don't know if you were edgier before then, or the trials that you're currently undergoing have obviously added to your philosophy and personality, and the person that you are has obviously had to has gone through a lot. So I don't know if you were different then or not, but the person I know at this point in time, I easily see the Bob Ross epitaph being fairly accurate.
Happy accident.
Yeah, so
No, I've been pretty much the same. I did have a different personality before I got burned and electrocuted by 12,000 volts.
no, I can see how that could happen.
Was very aggressive, very much best at what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Huge ego. Don't mind beating up drunks in the bar. Great. Fantastic.
Right.
Earned a purple belt in jiu-jitsu, and I was ego full. And then when 12,000 volts grabs a hold of your hands and strips the skin off and your face,
Mm-hmm.
it will have a tendency to change your reality somewhat. Make you appreciate maybe you've been an asshole for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Not that it's bad to be an asshole, but maybe a minute too long.
There are certainly times when it's required, or at least in your best interest to do that.
Yeah, that's true. 100%.
I've always been of the mind it's better to be underestimated than to be accurately sized up, at least as far as potential opponents or opposition.
Yep.
Because if they're like, oh, Robert's this really nice guy, he's just so laid back, mellow, and they cross a line they shouldn't and end up on their ass, then they're like, well, that came out of nowhere. But if they're like, yeah, Robert always has his back to the wall, is watching the door, where the exits are, they're like weird wheels and gears turning in his head at all times. So if I'm going to do something to Robert, I got to come at him in a direction that he's not going to see. Well, whether they're overestimating me or not, that's a lot harder to deal with.
I do like the gray man philosophy. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But, I write extensively about this in the book because there are those guys that are quiet. They're nice guys. People really like their character and their ability to charm.
Mm-hmm.
And they will assume they're great guys, but some of those guys are stone killers, out of the military, and some of the strongest masculine men I've ever met. The guy that saved my life was like that.
Mm-hmm.
And what a role model, no one would assume too much about him, but they would assume there was one thing they'd always assume: he's definitely the big animal in the room. Don't know where that's coming from, and that would save a lot of heartache,
Mm-hmm.
just because of the presence he could project without saying a word.
Yeah.
That's really an amazing skill, and that's part of charm. I tried to capture that when I wrote the book, but it's really hard to do. You almost have to see it. And it's kind of part of that gray man philosophy. Just kind of blend in, but when you need to, you can project it without kind of announcing it. You don't have to announce it,
Yeah.
Or you can just leave happy accidents everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I always ask Aaron, I go, so what happy accident did I do in the red pill today?
Yeah.
I do have one.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted somebody to take it up. I don't think I want to, but I want to talk about, have one of those guys that are famous talk about this as a controversy. Age of consent.
Mm-hmm.
You guys understand age of consent's a touchy subject, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a suggestion I think the red pill could work with. I think that somebody should seriously look at the age of consent for women, modern women, and really kind of fix some of their problems because they have issues with older guys dating younger gals. They always go back to that, how could that 50-year-old guy date that 25-year-old child?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Well, the solution is actually really simple. I think for the women, the age of consent should be moved to the wall. So at age 27, they now get to vote and they get all consent rights as a normal citizen. Otherwise, they're children. So the wall is now the age of consent.
Mhm.
Fixes the problem, doesn't it? Of course,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I could see that solving a few problems.
Now that you hit the wall, you have the maturity to actually make proper decisions in a social context. Therefore, you'll be able to make proper decisions when it comes to sexuality as well.
Oh man, me and Glenn were getting a little bit of pushback with something similar the other day on his channel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where he was arguing with this chick about
That's
voting rights.
Yeah.
Voting rights. And I'm like, you know what? I know it's political satire, the book Starship Troopers, but I think they were onto something for who could and could not vote.
Well,
That
the
comes from love.
movie Starship Troopers was supposed to be political satire. The book Starship Troopers is not political satire.
That's correct.
Okay.
It is a young man's adventure story that has a very liberal sprinkling of libertarian philosophy and aspects of some of the work of Ayn Rand and stuff like that.
Objectivism, yeah, that's true.
So it's that's what the book is. The book is not
Okay.
political satire. The book is the veterans of the United States, if not the world, looked around at the mess the corrupt political elite have made of everything. And they
Oh.
basically overthrew that government and said, we're the men who had skin in the game. And as we are men who had skin in the game, we make the rules. And if you want to be a part of the class that makes the rules, then you have to have skin in the game. Those of you who don't have skin in the game get to live
Get
your
lost.
lives, as you want, because we're not going to force our will on you per se, or make you a slave class or anything like that. But you just have no say in what we do and how we govern, and that's what they did. And it was, in a lot of ways, very benevolent. I would argue more so now, because you basically did what you wanted to do to the best of your ability. Where it has some flaws, and they're not complete flaws, it's just in overestimating some of the biological abilities of females in particular. And part of that is because Robert Heinlein was in love with and married a woman who was, a fairly intelligent, well-read, strong kind of woman. and that was a type of female he liked. And he also kind of had a way of putting her in his fiction. And he also went with the theory that men are strong and powerful. They go in the powered armor, they go down on the planets, and they kill the bugs. Women have a better dexterity, and I don't remember if he argued it through hand-eye coordination and stuff like that, but they flew the starships because they could intuitively react and stuff like that. And so they piloted starships, and men, you know, did the grunt work and fought the bugs. And, you know, if you want to see a woman have issues, have her back up a vehicle.
No shit.
You know, so there are things we of course know now about how, well, I mean, we've mapped out human beings genetically. We understand things about hand-eye coordination, about depth perception, about multitasking and things like that. And so, yes, there are some things that women are biologically designed to do, and to do pretty well, with not a great deal of effort on their part, just like there are certain things men are designed to do and do very well with minimal effort on their part, which is why the best female Olympic caliber athletes get their butts handed to them in sporting events by retirees and 12-year-old boys. You know, and it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing, because we're supposed to be compatible, despite, you know, having areas of conflict as far as how we do things, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, but no, I recommend Starship Troopers.
That's a good book.
I would give it a good read.
I sent you a link. It wasn't as good, but it's a good series from a similar era. It's called Armor.
Yes.
I just sent you a link to it.
Yes, I am familiar with it.
You're familiar with Armor? I like that one. I like I like Harrison's Death World trilogy.
Yes. Yeah.
I thought you might. You seemed like you might like that.
Yeah, I am usually an ever-flowing fountain of worthless information.
You and me too.
And Rollo sometimes laughs. There have been times that he'll mention like some geek thing or whatever, and he's like, Robert probably has one of those in his collection.
Oh, dude, I caught him live saying that.
Yeah,
like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really? On one of the Sunday shows, or
yeah, it was on a Sunday show.
Okay, but it's like, yeah, well, you know, like I do have a habit of acquiring things and not letting them go. So, but yeah, that's
unfortunate for me. It's the women, so that's a problem.
Well, that's always been kind of an interesting thing. My whole existence comes from genetic stock of people who were very good at getting other people to share carnal delights with them. So both my biological father and my biological mother. So
there you go.
My challenge has always been the fact that I've got somewhat of a lawful good streak to my character or personality, and in an odd sort of way, without thinking about it, completely unconsciously, one of the ways I kind of rebelled against my parents was the fact that I didn't sleep with everything I could have. Wow. Especially not in my youth.
Is it religiously based where you're
No, not at all. It's just, I'm, you know, I can't explain it.
Okay.
It's a challenge to explain publicly, because there are just some things, even though this is a members only stream, and I don't know that anyone's
discretion, brother. Now. Oh, I understand. We could always talk about
it.
I bet we have very similar stories.
But like most sensitive, bookish, intellectual little boys who found learning things and reading high adventure to like stir something deep within your soul. And having a very difficult and challenging childhood and home life, aspects of chivalric code, samurai bushido philosophy, the adventures of Robin Hood, the Three Musketeers, Ivanhoe, obviously their movie adaptations and stuff like that, kind of romanticized the sense of duty and self-sacrifice and holding one to a higher standard and not taking advantage of people, which meant not taking advantage of females, which meant, you know, if I am romantically involved with one female, it doesn't matter that 10 other females are interested in being romantically involved with me. I have a certain knightly code I've got to cling to, which is all nonsense in a lot of ways, and certainly cost me a lot, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially, when I got divorced, right before I turned 30, or around the time I turned 30. So
how old are you now, Robert?
I'm 56.
56. You child.
Yeah.
That's all right. Yeah. You're well lived.
Yeah. So, needless to say, going forward, my relationships with women were a lot more beneficial for me, with a deeper understanding of the actual nature of women as opposed to the romanticized nature of women, which you know, that part where you like are kind of kicking yourself for being stupid for not understanding or knowing better. But part of that is also because I was born in 1968, which meant that everything I was being told and taught and saw came from a world that was no longer going to exist by the time I reached manhood, because you know, it's things have evolved, culturally and otherwise, and that cultural revolution started even before I was born. So you know, the game had changed, and I was that first generation that wasn't taught by that grew up in the end of the old world before the start of the new, or at least the manifestation, I guess you could say, of the new. And so yeah, but I've gotten, you know, I have 4 sons by 3 different women, and I love them all dearly. I have grandchildren as well, including grandsons. So, you know.
Well, so I'll share a little secret with me. Yeah, I've been married 33 years to one woman.
Mm-hmm.
You can be loyal, but I also have an ex-wife who's completely in love with me, would do anything for me.
I have one of those too.
I have a childhood girlfriend from grade school who flew out here as soon as I got injured. They've been on X.
Yeah.
She's all ready to satisfy every need that I have. And then I've got our other girlfriend, Jinzi, the Chinese immigrant. She's started out as an acupuncturist for Missy. And everybody gets along really, really well.
Yeah.
And as a friendship, it goes beyond what your wildest imagination can be. And it's been very beneficial to everybody. There is a usefulness exchange that has, you almost can't describe it, except because of discretion and you don't embarrass people.
Yeah.
You don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's so wild. And women conceal this. They conceal this.
Yeah. Well, Vince and I have talked about some things. There's some other... my second ex-wife moved next door to me. So I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, so
When you're good to people, I tell you what, the universe has a way of bringing it back to you, man.
yeah,
And people do make mistakes and do stuff. Yeah, they do, and that's why there was an ex-wife. That's why there was other things. But if you're good to them, it comes back. It comes back nicely. You know.
yeah.
Well, I like that. That was nice to learn about you. Awesome.
Thank you.
And you've been around. You understand.
Yeah, my sons have joked frequently that they would like me to write down everything I know, but they don't want it just typed out or written in a book. They literally want me to write it on like scrolls, so that there are these scrolls. We shall consult the scrolls of Father, scroll 6, paragraph whatever, and so on and so forth. And I mean, they talk about that fairly frequently, which I find funny because it's like you're the same boys to whom I've given information, which you've like, yes, of course, Father, and then done something, and then later came to me and said, oh yeah, I should have listened to you. But it's like, yes, so if I wrote it down, you would listen then? No, you're going to ignore it then, still go out and do what you do, and then come back and it's like, yes, this Robert was accurate.
Robert, you're a good writer. There's an opportunity for you if you want to join our project. Or
I just don't have the time to commit to anything like that right now is my biggest problem. I mean, Vince and I have talked about this too.
You actually do, because there is no time limit. Like I said, we'd like to try to get everybody in the next 13 months, but there is actually no time limit.
Yeah.
The encyclopedia will be forever open. And if I'm not managing it, Paul and HUD will.
Yeah.
And that way it can kind of be perennial for the guys that come in, the space, the content's available for them to review. And if they want to add their name to the list and become an author, they actually don't need to do anything with us, just adhere to the template. They don't need to pay anything. They just publish according to the template, and they could be a part of it.
Yeah.
Just an essay, essentially. But here's the point. I wanted to extend an invitation to you, even if you can't do it.
I appreciate that very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Same with Vince. Yeah. There's no time limit. A lot of guys are very worried about that. And it's like, dude, it's kind of a forever thing. You do it when you want. I know what's going to happen though when 3 or 4 of the bigger names publish. Everybody will want to do it, but it's okay. Yeah, if you're ever interested though, you know where to go.
Yep, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And with those 7 skills, it's pretty broad. You could probably write about everything. Except maybe Starship Troopers. No, you probably do that too.
There's a way to work that into real life.
Yeah, we use the skill set of power and problem solving. That would work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, hell, Sterling Cooper's going to go under the passion heading and write about sex. Yeah, sure.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Write what you know.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you. I really appreciate this from you guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, yeah. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. I like to keep these around 2 hours, and I'm getting tired. Yep. It's almost 11 o'clock, so.
Yeah, I've got to get up early and do work, so that's my day, unfortunately.
Indeed. As always, a pleasure. Good seeing you guys.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. And I'll be seeing you guys for the next... Well, I have to get a thread up for the next game. Raw's next game. And then not this Saturday, the next Saturday will be the Fortress meeting with Jack Donovan. And then, yeah. So stay tuned, everybody. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Night.
See you guys.